Despite most of the concentration labeled on the big European names, one cannot deny the fact that there currently is and has been an array of talent from Africa to have played the beautiful game. However, it has not been smooth sailing for talents emerging from the rich continent. Even with an African nation making an appearance at the second ever World Cup in 1934, it took over 4 decades later for a team from the continent to win a game at the tournament. The minimal slots given to African countries at the World Cup and Olympic tournaments, coupled with political instability, social and cultural differences, and poor administration in various football federations, impeded the growth of the sport in the continent for decades. Many African footballers braved the odds regardless and succeeded in playing at the highest levels while gracing us with their artistry, guile, and technicality on their way to reaching global stardom. Welcome to Football Attitude's 11 greatest African footballers of all time. (11) Seydou Keita. Seydou Keita was never able to establish himself as a regular starting midfielder for Barcelona, but his contributions to the Blaugrana did not go unnoticed. A versatile midfielder capable of carrying out any role in the center of the park, Keita made over 100 appearances for Barca during their hugely successful period under Pep Guardiola, where he won 14 honors consisting of 3 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Rey trophies, 3 Supercopas de España, 2 Champions League titles, 2 UEFA Super Cups, and 2 Club World Cup titles. He also won silverware at French side Lorient and Spanish side Sevilla. The former Mali captain didn't have similar success at national level, with 0 appearances at the World Cup and 2 third-place finishes at the Africa Cup of Nations. 10. JJ Okocha. He was so good they named him twice because when it came to pure talent, only a handful could come close to JJ. There are very few players in Premier League history who can be placed in the same bracket as Okocha when it comes to technical flair. The Nigerian who settled at Bolton Wanderers after stints in Germany, Turkey, and France was a master with the ball at his feet, rivaling the likes of Ronaldinho when it came to tricks and flicks. The midfielder didn't enjoy a particularly successful club career with regards to silverware, but he achieved plenty of individual recognition during his playing days, including 7 Nigerian Footballer of the Year awards and 2 African Footballer of the Year awards. He won the AFCON in 1994 and bagged Olympic gold with Nigeria 2 years later in '96. Okocha also represented Nigeria at 3 World Cups in 1994, 1998, and 2002. 9. Roger Milla. Perhaps the most symbolic figure in the history of African football, veteran striker Roger Milla was the star of the Cameroonian team that made history at the 1990 World Cup. Milla led Cameroon at the 1990 edition to become the first African nation to reach the quarterfinals of the tournament at the age of 38. The 2-time African Player of the Year played against Russia in the 1994 World Cup at the age of 42 and scored to become the oldest player to ever score in the tournament. He also helped the indomitable Lions win the AFCON title in 1984 and 1988. Though his European club career was not adorned with titles and glories, Milla was prolific in France, playing for the likes of Bastia, Saint-Étienne, and Montpellier, where he scored over 130 goals. 8. Sami Kuffour. Sami Kuffour was an ever-present figure at the back for German giants Bayern Munich between 1993 and 2005, contributing to a total of 14 honors including 6 Bundesliga titles, 4 German Cups and a Champions League. The Ghanaian wasn't the tallest of central defenders, but he made up for it with his acute positional awareness and sheer strength. Kuffour was voted as the BBC African Player of the Year in 2001, following Bayern's Champions League success, and at the time he was generally considered to be one of the most complete defenders in Europe. He represented Ghana in the 2006 World Cup and played in 5 AFCON tournaments. 7. Michael Essien. Essien was one of the most successful signings of the early Roman Abramovich era at Chelsea, joining the Blues from French club Lyon in 2005 before going on to dominate the midfield alongside club legend Frank Lampard. The Ghanaian was able to expertly match technical prowess with explosive power, making him an asset in defense and a threat going forward. He won 4 titles with Lyon and 9 with Chelsea, including 3 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, a League Cup and the UCL trophy, but was unable to inspire a talented crop of Ghanaian players to any silverware. The 2006 BBC African Footballer of the Year played in the 2006 World Cup and led Ghana to a 3rd place finish at the 2008 AFCON. 6. Nwankwo Kanu. Standing at 6'4" with a slim physique, Kanu was an elegant footballer with excellent movement, intelligence, nimble footwork and technical ability. He was by no means a prolific goal scorer, earning plenty of plaudits for his unpredictable and unorthodox style that saw him achieve great success with Dutch giants Ajax and English big boys Arsenal. The Nigerian striker first made a name for himself at Ajax, scoring 25 goals in 54 appearances and lifted 3 Dutch titles alongside the Champions League trophy in 1995. This earned Kanu a move to Italian heavyweights Inter, where injuries held him back for 3 seasons before transferring to Arsenal, where he went on to win 5 domestic titles. He also became a Portsmouth hero in 2008 as he scored the winning goals in both the FA Cup semi-final and final for Pompey. Kanu is a 2-time African Player of the Year, representing Nigeria at 3 World Cups and winning Olympic gold in 1996. 5. Abedi Ayew. Popularly nicknamed Abedi Pele after the Brazilian football legend, the Ghanaian is a 3-time African Footballer of the Year and built his legacy in France with Marseille, where he won 3 league titles and a Champions League in 1993. A graceful and intelligent attacking midfielder, Abedi Pele was unfortunate not to feature in a single World Cup, but he did win AFCON with Ghana in 1982 and a decade later the tournament's Golden Ball as the Black Stars fell in the final against Ivory Coast. He has 3 sons, Ibrahim, Andre, and Jordan Ayew, who also became international players for Ghana. Andre and Ibrahim represented Ghana in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, while Jordan and Andre represented Ghana in the 2014 edition in Brazil and the 2022 tournament in Qatar. Jordan and Andre Ayew have also played club football together in France for Marseille and in the Premier League for Swansea City. 4. Yaya Toure. Starting his career as a forward, Yaya became a defensive midfielder earlier in his career and later evolved into a brilliant box-to-box midfielder as his career closed down. In his early days, he played for the likes of Greek club Olympiacos and French side Monaco before earning a big move to Barcelona in 2007. During his 3 seasons under Pep, he became a midfield Trojan and won a catalogue of trophies including the UEFA Champions League, 2 La Liga titles, the Copa del Rey and the FIFA Club World Cup. In 2010, he joined Man City, where he was the outstanding individual during City's first 2 Premier League triumphs and became only the 2nd midfielder to score 20 goals in a single Premier League season in 2014. Blossoming into a global star, Yaya was the driving force behind the Sky Blues' success, and despite slowing down in his 30s, he was able to secure 1 more league title in 2018 before leaving City as a club legend. Yaya represented the Ivory Coast at 3 World Cups and 6 Africa Cup of Nations tournaments, and as captain, he led Cote d'Ivoire to the latter glory in 2015. He won the African Footballer of the Year award a record 4 times, equaling Cameroon's Samuel Eto'o. 3. George Weah. Popularly known as King George during his playing days, Weah was recognized as the greatest African player of the 20th century. The Liberian striker was arguably the most complete forward of the 90s, tearing opposition defenses apart for the likes of Monaco, PSG, where he won a league title, and AC Milan, where he won 2 Scudetti. A perfect summary of his frankly absurd ability was his solo strike against Italian side Hellas Verona in 1996, where he effortlessly took the ball from the edge of his own box to the opposition goal in a matter of seconds. Weah may not have won as many club honors as some other players on this list, but he remains the only African player to ever win the most coveted individual prize of them all, the Ballon d'Or, in 1995. The striker made his debut for Liberia in 1986, making 75 appearances and scoring 18 goals. He, however, did not enjoy any success with his country and therefore had no significant international contributions to his name. Weah was named the African Footballer of the Year in 1989, 1995, and 1996, and the BBC African Footballer of the Year in 1995. He has a son named Timothy Weah, who was born in New York, USA, and plays professionally for French side Lille, while also representing the United States at international level. Following his retirement from football, George Weah became involved in politics, winning the presidential election in 2017 and assuming office as the president of Liberia in 2018. 2. Didier Drogba. The third highest scoring African to ever grace the Premier League, Didier Drogba was an unstoppable force of nature for Chelsea and stakes a claim as one of the greatest foreign players to arrive on the shores of England. The forward has often been described as a late bloomer as he signed his first professional contract with Le Mans, a French club, in 1998 at the age of 21. He then moved to Guingamp, followed by Olympique de Marseille, where he spent 1 season at each club, scoring 17 and 19 goals respectively. His exploits with Marseille led Chelsea to sign him in 2004 for a then club record fee of £24 million. Drogba immediately became a key member of the London-based team as he helped the club win their first Premier League title in 50 years. Named Africa's Player of the Year twice, Drogba has scored more than 300 goals in his professional career and has won 4 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 3 League Cups, and the Champions League. He also won the Premier League Golden Boot and was twice named in the Premier League Team of the Year. Drogba was unable to guide Ivory Coast's golden generation to any international titles, however, with appearances at the 2006, 2010, and 2014 World Cups, as well as the 2006 and 2012 AFCONs, as Les Elephants lost in both finals. He retired from international football in 2014 as his country's all-time top goal scorer with 65 goals from 105 appearances. 1. Samuel Eto'o. Eto'o was an exceptional footballer and a complete striker who was strong, fast, hard-working and lethal while playing at the highest levels of European football. The Cameroon forward achieved an illustrious career at Barcelona, Real Mallorca, Inter, and Sampdoria while bagging more than 400 goals. At Barca, he scored 130 goals while winning 3 La Liga titles and was named Man of the Match when Barca defeated Arsenal in the 2006 Champions League final. Eto'o won 2 UEFA Champions League titles with the Catalonian club and impressively scored in both finals. Moving to Inter Milan in 2010, he lifted another UCL trophy, the FIFA Club World Cup, 2 Copas Italia, and the Scudetto. He was twice named in the Team of the Year by both UEFA and FIFA and finished 3rd in the 2005 FIFA World Player Awards. Eto'o made his debut for the Cameroonian national team in 1997 and was a part of the squad that won the gold medal at the 2000 Olympics. The forward also won the Africa Cup of Nations in 2000 and 2002. He is the all-time leading scorer in the history of the AFCON with 18 goals and is Cameroon's all-time leading scorer with 56 goals in 118 appearances. He was also crowned the African Footballer of the Year a record 4 times and ended up as the AFCON highest goal scorer in both the 2006 and 2008 editions. After retiring from playing in 2019, Eto'o, who is currently in his early 40s, was elected president of the Cameroon Football Federation in December of 2021.